Now we have left room for kind of our bacon stuff because, you know, sorry, we got to do bacon. Make sure I save all this stuff. So I'm going to go in here and we got some really good bacon stuff here. And one of the things that we had done here was obviously we had done this, that bacon right here. I've got my bacon consumption numbers, which we had worked on before. So I'm going to come and I'm going to plunk those in here. I'm going to reduce those down so those are going to fit nicely into one of those little columns right there. Scale it so that it fits. And we need to make that prominent because bacon is worth noticing. And now I've got some other really good bacon stuff right here. And copy this over, put this in as well. And this is why I like important information, fun information, interesting stuff, where you can make stuff graphical, you can make stuff type-based, you can go ahead and do fun stuff like this that starts to violate the space. You can do things like this that are really engaging, but it's all fun and visually interesting. So, did you know why bacon is addictive? Because it contains 6 types of umami. I don't even know what that is. Okay? I don't know. Somebody look that up, would you? And find it out. That's why bacon is addictive. That's why bacon tastes so good.
Umami is it's a flavor profile similar to sweet. So you have, you have sweet, you have sour, you have bitter, and umami is one of those tastes.
Okay. So bacon, bacon needs its own header. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to kind of break this out like so. And because it's a really big word, I'm going to go ahead and make it as a lighter color here so it doesn't have as much impact on here. But it kind of brings you in to the whole bacon theme right here. This is our bacon zone right here. And
if you want a strict definition, it's from the Japanese and it strictly translates to pleasant, savory taste.
Okay, I like that. So I don't know if I'm going to actually create an infographic for the addiction of bacon because that could just get really, really weird. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this so that all of my copy is just going to be kind of like a nice little, segue in here. So we bring this in. Again, I can't type because it contains 6 types of umami. All right, nice little fun piece. I'm going to put it there, maybe do a flush right here so it kind of brings it in right there. And why does it now spacing after all the paragraphs? Good old Illustrator. Yep. So a little tidbit there, not much information, but I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to make this about 80%, 70% gray so it's not that big. Now, of course, we have to have pictures of bacon, right? Oh my gosh, what better way to do bacon but a line that we specifically do our distort and transform and turn into bacon. So with that, of course, smooth, yeah, hello, lots of them, lots of segments, lots of ripples. There it is. Okay, that's a little bit too much bacon. That's kind of like faking bacon. So I need less size. I need less ripples. Right there, click to preview. Right there, right there. A little bit less size, less size, less size. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, now we're in the frying zone. Go ahead, yep. And of course, the color of bacon. Bacon. Yep, there we go. No rounded edges on bacon. Bacon is square. Okay, and there's our bacon. Oh yeah. Now, what's great about this is that we can use these as some awesome dividers in here. And I just think this would be like totally, totally perfect right here. I think I love bacon so much that I'm going to finish out the little section right here with this size. This is one of the things I don't like about the effects because the effects change as you scale your object. So if you try to do different objects in here, and the blasted non-sticky preview button right there. There it is. Let's see, and we want 5. Okay, there we go. I'm going to go in and I'm going to duplicate my bacon. Okay? Great infographic for bacon, folks. I'm sorry, but it doesn't get much better than that. Okay, wonderful. Now, of course, we need eggs. Okay, so of course you can do eggs, and one of the things is that you can't really do a side version of like a fried egg, but you can go ahead and do a flat version of it, you know? So now I'm not getting picky here, you know, we're seeing things on the side and seeing things flat, but we are talking about, you know, eggs and bacon. So if you do want to do something here, of course, simple egg, hello, you draw yourself a circle, okay? And we're gonna use a little white, you know, maybe a little off-white here. And if we do this, it's going to be very light color, you know, a little bit of egg color right there, not much. And this obviously needs to be put on a different colored background here. But then I'm going to take that same one, I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to reduce it down, and then I can go ahead and select the yellow right there from the name bacon. And there we have our egg right there, which works. I'm going to make this actually gray so you can kind of see this a little bit better for now. I think this is going to end up on a background. Okay, there it is. There's my egg right there. So now I got my egg, I got my bacon, and let's not yoke about that thing. Okay? Now if I did want to do like an actual egg, that's simple. That is just a circle. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my direct selection tool and I'm just going to kind of egg shape it, like so, okay? And then it becomes an egg. And I can squish it, and I got myself an egg right there. Actually, you know what? I like that better, right there. Bacon and eggs, right there. Eyedropper tool, because I need to make it a light color yellow. And there's my egg right there. Bacon and eggs. And I think with this, we need to do and eggs. But that needs to be really small because bacon is the important thing here. So I'm just going to make that small. I'm going to park it right under here. And eggs. Reduce it down in size. It's not insignificant, but it's pretty close to it. There we go. So now I got my little bacon, I got my eggs, and we have 50% bacon consumed on weekends, 49% or 59% consumed on weekdays, 41% on the weekends. Great little infographic there too, and we can do that. And then, what other information did we have here about our bacon and eggs? What do we have? Oh, here we go. These two, so I'm going to go over here. I already copied those over, didn't I? I did, right there. Bacon and eggs are eaten together 71% of the time. Totally useless thing, but great for fantastic filler. And that, I can tell you, can go right here. So I'm going to put this in, put this over here. I'm going to put Mr. Egg right here. And that can go right beside Mr. Egg. And doesn't need to be huge, that's for sure. But I think that would work really good if we turn it up so that we can see the sunny side of it. Yeah, I've been doing this too long, haven't I?
Don't encourage him.
Don't encourage me, it only gets worse. Let's see, eaten together 71% of the time. That egg definitely needs a little bit of loving, doesn't it? I think it needs a little noodle highlight, don't you? Mm-hmm. Something like that. Well, our bacon's starting to look good. 1.7 billion pounds of bacon sold each year in the US. Wow. That's a fact that we need to know. All caps. So something like this, I'm not going to draw an infographic on because that's just gross. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually I'm going to just do this in all type. And so I'm going to take this whole thing and in this I'm actually going to spell this out just to see if I can get these things to break differently. Put that in there. And then increase the size till it kind of fits in here. And each one, and I'm going to kind of do just kind of the block part of it. And then adjust my leading as I go, and my kerning too. Kern that in, make that all fit. Get that in there, track that, leading right there, right there. And I think just having this be kind of an impact piece right there, I can do that. But the thing is that I need to make this really, really, really light. I like having this impact here, but I think what I need to do is I need to make this kind of a really light yellow so we don't see it as much. So we get that information, it's there, but it's not going to be, you know, like tons of information. It's kind of light right there. So there we got our little bacon stuff. We got all the bright bacon and egg colors in here, don't we? Definitely do. So the important part, you know, when it's being served with bacon and, you know, part of the time here. I think we need like a little bacon and egg romance here, don't we? Yeah, I think we need one of these little things, but I just don't know how I want to include that in there. Maybe that's right here. Yep, and then we do that. Put that over there a little bit. And maybe this goes ahead and becomes a much lighter color. Yep, that can work as well. Keep calling up my color palette there. That's looking good. Now we've got a lot of things going on here, and I think one of the things I've got to do now is I'm going to put some color behind here. I'm going to start to differentiate these things with shapes behind there, not with shapes of color, but with lighter and darker tints of the same color. Maybe knock some of them out to white so they kind of call themselves out here so we can actually see this stuff, because I think it's coming together really well with stuff. Or else I just think it's a train wreck and looks really cool. But actually it is. I think we've got a lot of fun stuff here. If I turn the grid off right there, I can see that we got a lot of cool information all coming together. And you can see how building things in blocks and things like that are really helpful to what we're doing. And the grid structure really helps. So with this, I'm going to add a layer to back of everything, and this is going to be the background color. And I'm going to draw a big container in the background here. Doesn't matter what color it is right now because it's going to be in the background. There it is. And now, oh, you know, that's not a bad color. The color of bacon. But of course what's happened is then I've lost that little bacon strip. The sacrifices you have to make. Right there. I think that's a bit too dark. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use just one of my existing colors here and kind of bring it back. Yellow is always a nice soft color, especially if we kind of bring it in here. A little touch of gray, actually kind of brown it up a little bit. So I've got that. Don't want to go too gray. Right there. That can work. Nice soft color. Seems to work pretty good. Doesn't work very well with the gray, but it starts to add a little bit of character to it. And then I'm going to need to obviously go in, and wherever I chose gray here, not a good color against that particular yellow. Let me go in and grab that yellow. Nope, I don't want to do that because I want to make sure I just get those particular fills and not everything else. So that's going to be that particular yellow. That could work just fine. But with this, I think my biggest issue is I've got all these supermarket facts, and I need kind of a headline for each one of these. So I think I'm going to move this all over here, right to that point. And I think I need a little story here with the cost of everything as it goes. And I would like to kind of put a little box around this to kind of bring these together. And I'm going to use my grid structure for this. So I'm going to put in a new layer here, and this is actually going to be my boxes in back of things. I'll lock my artwork right now. And I don't know if I'm going to use like rounded corners or what. I may use just slightly rounded corner boxes here to kind of give it a softer edge or round some corners and not others. So if there's my rounded corner box, and I just go in here and I'm going to make that white. Is that white? Yeah, that's white. Wow, why does it look kind of gray? Guess I've been looking at things too long here. Turn off my grid to kind of see. And that boxes layer, I do not want that to have a yellow border around it. There we go. Okay, now I can see that. And I'll lock my boxes, go back to my artwork, grab each one of these here, and I'm just going to reduce this down in size ever so slightly. So I get a nice little buffer in there. I'm going to move that there, move this over here, select everything, distribute everything between the centers. No, not align them on the centers, distribute them. That looks good. And then I can put a little story in here of the average cost of that. That needs to be all caps. Lowercase just doesn't look good in that font. There we go. I'm actually going to copy this. And this is the average cost of groceries per family. Per family. Increase the size of that. Spread that out a bit right there so it tells a little bit of story and kind of gives a nice little impact right there, balanced right in. Turn the grid structure off here. No, that's not that. That's the grid structure. There it is. Cool. Okay. Yeah, that's kind of working. And I've got my butter costs here. I think my butter costs are going to stay with the yellow in the background. This electricity use, I think I need to do a little bit more explaining on this right here because I think it doesn't, because nobody knows what the electricity use is. In an average grocery store. Of course, decrease the size of the font, spell grocery correctly. Got all the right letters in there. Bring that right up. Kern that together a little bit more. Bring that down, track that out a bit, like that. I think that works. With this, I don't know that I actually want to call this out very much. So I think I'm going to grab my little dotted apple cider bar right here, and I'm just going to turn this, and I'm going to rotate this. I'm just going to park it kind of here, where the divider is. And then at that fill, I'm just going to go in and select that fill right there, and do that. Now, of course, I can't do that because I'm going to lose my dots right there. So I do that, then I can go ahead and I can sample this, but it's Illustrator, so of course I cannot go in and sample the color. So I have to draw the box, then I have to sample the color, then I have to put the stroke around the box. I wish I could just take that and drag that right on there. You know what? It's staying green. Okay, so you can see here, when I do something like this, I do like that blue. So what is that blue here? 58, 36, 30, 13. 58, 36, 30, 13. There we go, there's my blue. So you see how that blue kind of ties in, but it doesn't really bring that whole thing out. I don't need to put anything on the bottom here to box it in, but it just kind of breaks things out very nicely. This is its own little piece right here. This is kind of a fun little tidbit. I may go in here and put a different color in here. So I may just draw one of my rounded boxes here. And on my boxes, I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to draw. It's going to snap right to my grid structure. With this, I'm going to use the white back there. But with the white, I'm actually going to add just a little hint of the yellow here. So I'm going to grab the yellow eyedropper. Yellow, I'm just going to back it off a bit so it's not completely white. It's just slightly lighter here. I'm going to lock that down, get rid of my color here. I'm going to grab all of this and kind of reduce it down in size so it fits within my little box. I do want to check my grid structure because I want to make sure that this box actually fits the grid structure and keep snapping everything to it. This is going to make sure that I align everything, and I'm going to make sure that goes to that path. This is going to come over here. That's probably just going to bisect that. That's going to come over here and touch that path perfectly, like so, there. And now I can put this here, put that there, just leave some empty space, turn back off my grid structure, there it is. I like this, this kind of breaks it up. This right here, I think this is going to be white as well. Of course, now my guy is no longer white, so then he needs to become, what color does he need to become? Blue? No. That color? No. Green? Sure. Why not? Right there. Unfortunately, we can't really see the edge of that barrel now. That's the only problem. So I don't really know that that's a barrel. So you know what? I think we had a little suggestive detail in here. So there it is. I'm going to go in and I'm going to take my ellipse tool right here. And I'm going to go and I'm going to draw right through here and kind of draw those little rounded ends like so. I'm going to lose the ends right there, but I'm going to connect the ends using my Command J. Got that. Fill that in. So I can kind of imply a little barrel right there. Like so. So I kind of give that little icon so it looks like a barrel. Go ahead and copy this whole thing. Option click and drag. Use my reflect tool so that I can go and reflect right over the surface, right there. Create the little mirror. Move that over. Park that in place. So I kind of nest right in there. And now what that does is that kind of gives the highlight of there, kind of makes the barrel so it looks like a barrel right there. Sure thing. Okay. Well, now we have our little shopping cart accident. Our Mr. Bacon here, I think this also requires a nice little standout box as well. So I'm going to go up to my boxes yet again, and I'm going to copy this one. I'm going to park that in there. I need to have my grid turned on so I can see right where I'm going to be with my grid structure, so that I snap that to it and I make sure that I'm lining it up with everything else here, because anything that's slightly off is going to look kind of weird. And so there it is, grab my ends right there, put my bacon. You know, I may just go off the end here, just like that. And I'm going to make sure that everything inside here just kind of stays a nice little distance away from the edges. So all this is going to just kind of come up a bit from the edges so it doesn't get in there. This, I'm going to cheat. That needs to come down, that needs to come down, that needs to come down. All that. Cheat that ever so slightly. I know I shouldn't be, but I did. Keep the spacing the same around everything too. A lot of stuff packed in here, but you know, we kind of call that out. So that's looking kind of cool, kind of fun as well. We have our little apple cider thing. We've got some other information that I think we need to put in here that we haven't put in yet. Oh, you know, one of the things, here it is. The top 10 items purchased at a grocery store. I mean, that's really important. Barcodes, you know, I'd like to put that in. Do you know they were first used on rail cards and the original one was actually a bullseye? And trivia, first barcode was used on a pack of gum. Did you know? Wrigley's gum. It was the first one that had it. Yep, very cool. So we're working through all this stuff here. We got all this information here. Yep, the butter, the lighting, the average cost, all that stuff. Good, we got that in. Top 10 items purchased at a grocery store. Yep, this is good because now this is going to fill up a lot of our space. And I think what we're going to do here is I am going to drop, I don't want to do that. That's going to be my background color, lock that. I'm going to grab all of this here and I'm going to put this, well, I don't know where I'm going to put this. I'm going to put this off to the side here and this off to the side because those are good. This little thing's a great little, you know, throwaway right in the middle of the whole thing. Boom. May even reduce that down so it fits right in there. Yeah, because that fits nice in there. I like that a lot. Okay, so now one of the things, I want to do the top 10 things purchased at the grocery store. Paste that in there. Top 10 things purchased at the grocery store. This could be a nice list. I could do it in different ways. but let's just do little infographics with every single one. Just do a list, infographics, boom, 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 boom. Because what? We got 15 minutes? What the heck? We can do this, folks. We are going to do this. Okay? So there's going to be my list, and I'm going to do the list in light, and I'm going to increase the size there. Top 10 items purchased in a grocery store. Okay, this needs to be all caps as well. There it is. Great. Back to the selection tool. Top 10 items purchased in a grocery store. I think this is going to make a nice list right here. And it's going to be my headline. There it is. And there's my list. Wonderful. I don't know that I actually need to have the numbers here, but I'll see. Let's see, double click on that, change it to paragraph type. There we go. Now I can go in, purchased in a grocery store. Great. Now this needs to be made bold because it's going to be the headline here. And then I can go in and I can sample the color. Top 10 items purchased in a grocery store. Turn that out just a bit so that I can make that all kind of flush right without actually making it all flush right. Okay, pretty close. There we go, shore that up. Wonderful. So here's my top 10 items. I don't know that I actually want the numbers here because it kind of, I don't want to make it all listy and everything. So I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do a staggered list where I'm going to go back and forth and back and forth. So basically we'll have an icon, name icon, things like that. So here's my content right there. So here's the marathon. Little did I know I've already done milk, or I've already done soda and bread and beer. Snacks, easy, cheese, not a problem. Frozen dinners, yep. Cereal, cool box, wine, not a problem. Cigarettes, done. Okay. So first of all, we need to do soda. Look at that, soda can. Okay, great. Ungroup the whole thing, grab Mr. Soda Can. Right there, ungroup that again, grab Mr. Soda Can, copy it, come right over here, and park Mr. Soda Can right there. Scale the whole thing, but I need that stroke to be scaled as well. There we go, Mr. Soda Can. Yep. So, you know what, I need my colors down here because I need to use them right here. Copy them. I rotate them, bring them on down in size, park them close to everything. Now I got some there. Okay, soda can. Soda, soda, soda. Soda always looks good in red. Yeah, I think so, because beer is going to become blue. Yep. So I'm going to group that together. There it is, item right there, kind of light it up. I think that's a bit big. I'm going to take the word soda, cut it out of there, paste it right there. Soda. Okay. And then I'm going to do milk as well. So I'm going to make sure that this kind of sits right there at the baseline. Great. And then milk, that's going to come over here. And I need to do a milk carton. Milk carton, simple. Yep. Rectangle, always got a square bottom. Sure does. And then we do a triangle on the top. Yep, right there. That gets parked right inside there. Right to the edge, boom, intersect right there. Bring that on up. Merge those together. And of course, the most important part right there, we have to flatten, oh, wrong key, flatten the top. There it is, and then of course, a rounded rectangle, put something right on there, boom, because we have to have our little fin right on the top there. Yes, we do. There's a milk carton, boom. Milk carton, yep, that's gonna be white, no question about it. Boom, select it, make it white, there we go, milk carton. Now, of course, milk is kind of hard to understand, so we have to do a cow, right? And of course, what better way to do a cow but this way? Okay? Because all cows have a round face. Yes? Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we got eyeballs. Yes? Right there. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we have to have the little nose, because the nose, of course, with the nose, we have to have a little circle. Am I making a piggy instead? I think the bacon's on my mind. No, because cow's nose have to be kind of flat, don't they? Yes? Okay, I may be falling down in the whole cow department. And it needs horns, right? I think I'm making a pig. Yeah, and I need horns. Forget the cow. We'll just put a missing person on here. Here we go. Logo. Beautiful. Milk carton. All right, group that together. Make sure that I size that kind of appropriately. Gonna throw in milk over here, right there. Okay, so, you know, maybe soda goes up here, milk goes down there. And that needs a little bit more contrast as well. So I think we can get away with blue on the milk right there. And then, of course, then we have to have the picture of the missing person on there, and that needs to be white so that it knocks it out nicely. Escape, get out of my mode right there. Okay, that still is a bit big. It needs to come down a bit more in proportion. Okay, so we got soda, we got milk. Bread, simple. Already did our slice right up here. I knew I did this on purpose. Copy my bread right here, put it in here, boom. There's my bread. Copy this right down here. So how's the chat room doing?
Chat room's doing great.
How's our chat room host doing?
Awesome. Hey, I just want to do a shout out to Sylvia McRory,
Yes.
who posted an excellent, excellent graphic that she's an art director and a photographer. And
Awesome.
she built a graphic based on what she's learned in this class, and just did a really awesome job. So kudos to her.
Wonderful. I can't wait to see that. I really do, because I absolutely love to see what other people do with this stuff. And yeah. So of course, beer has to be blue, right? Obviously. And so we have our blue beer can, and then of course we have to have our ribbon on there. Yeah? Uh-huh. Yes. And of course, we know how to make ribbons, right? Of course we do. That's the whole point. So then I'm going to go in, I'm going to make my ribbon. And with that ribbon, of course, I'm going to quickly do my same ribbon thing that I did before. Use my eyedropper tool, grab that, kind of darken that up. Actually, we used white, didn't we, on there? So I'm going to do just a kind of a gray on the ribbon. Right there. That goes like that. That goes in front. This gets copied. This gets reflected on there. Put over there. See how fast you can do a ribbon when you know what you're doing? There it is. Do the ends. Park that. Bring it right back in there. Extend the ribbon on out. Send the ribbon behind. Like that. And there's our beer with a nice ribbon. Needs to be a little bit more rounded, but hey, you know, given the time here, we got to get this stuff done. So there's going to be my beer. Beautiful. Right there. Happens to be the same color of the milk carton. Okay. Ooh, snacks. Snacks can be fun, can't they? What should we do for snacks? I would like to do cheesy poofs, but I can't do three-dimensional.
Little chips bag.
Yeah, we can do a little bag of chips.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Bag of chips. Okay. So we're going to do a bag of chips right here. We're going to draw a little bag right there. And with this, how to do a little bag of chips? Nope, we're going to do this instead. I'm going to go in and I'm going to draw a really big oval like this. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to chop the top off of the bag right there with the Pathfinder. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to chop the bottom of the bag off with the Pathfinder right there. Select both of them before I can chop that off. And then I have my bag, but then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to condense the whole thing so I get my little bag of chips right there. That'll work. Bag of chips, yep, bag of chips is going to be that color. Crunchy little num-nums. And of course, what's the perfect little shape that we put on there? Of course, a triangle, because all chips are triangular. There it is. Maybe it's a little yellow chip on top there. Sure. I think it needs to be the brighter yellow chip. Yes. And then we're going to put that on the bag there. And of course, to keep in mind with what it is that we're doing here, I'm going to put a big X in the middle there. Do you know why we're putting the X in the middle of there? Any idea? Because it's nacho cheese. It happens, folks. It happens all the time. You can imagine what's going through my mind and what I'm not saying. I know. There it is. There it is. It's an X with the X, so it can be nacho cheese. Okay. And then, of course, we have cheese. And, you know, what better way to do cheese than to go in and do a nice little, I'm going to do a ellipse right there. Take the cheese, and of course, I'm going to do what to the cheese? I'm going to slice it. And so I just want a brick of cheese, and I'm going to actually use the pen tool with this because I want to be able to do a nice little roundy piece of cheese with that, and I can make that yellow. So I've got the little cheese. And if I want to put little circles in there, I could to make it Swiss. And see, one of the things is that I'm kind of adding little elements to each one of these. So I think I really need to add a little hole in this right here in order to make this Swiss cheese. Just because. Maybe make that one a little bit smaller. And maybe go in and make that one even smaller. There we go. Just because I want to kind of keep a similar feel to the whole thing. Because even though I think my bread needs butter, I really do. I can't do it without the butter here. Let's see here. I'm going to paste that right in the middle. Paste. Good. There's the butter. That way I keep all my icons consistent. They're all two-dimensional and they all have little bits and pieces of things in there. So now I'm going to put my cheese up over here. I'm going to scale it to fit right there. This becomes my cheese. Paste that over there. Put that in. Okay. Now, frozen dinners, cereal, wine, cigarettes.
Slice of pizza.
Okay. Looks like a slice of pizza. Maybe I need to rotate this. Nah, it still looks like a slice of pizza. Maybe it needs to be foreshortened. Yeah, leave it alone. Needs to be made a little bit smaller, that's for sure. Okay? Okay, so frozen dinners. Ooh, that's kind of tricky, isn't it? Yep. Frozen dinners. Well, that's pretty simple. A box that, of course, is blue. And that we go in and we put little bacon waves on top of, because we show that we do this. Up. This is what I don't like. Zigzag. I got to make it smaller. Click on the preview. Make it a little bit smaller overall. Less zigzags right there. Yep. Bring that down in size. There we go. Got that. And those are going to be filled like that. And there's our frozen dinner. Does that work? Good, I thought so. Alrighty then. So there's our frozen dinner. Turn off my grid structure here so I can see. Cereal, simple, nice little box. Right there. What color is my cereal? Definitely a yellow box right there. We're going to have little Fruitios in there. Fruitios. Do that. Those get borders. Boom, boom, boom. Like so. One little Fruitio, two little Fruitio. Fruitio. There we go. There's a little box of cereal. Reduce that down in size. Swing that over here. Break up that. Paste that there. Put that in there. Wine and cigarettes. Interesting. Top 10 things that you buy at a supermarket. Why do I feel like I'm in a game show? Wine. Yep. Easy to do. Simple. We draw a nice little wine bottle. Chop off the top of it right here. Boom. Actually, not a wine bottle, a wine glass, but I'm just going to do a wine glass anyway. Chop off the top of it. Yep. Nice little border running right down the middle, like so. Don't want to make it too thin, because when I scale it, I don't want to lose that right there. I think I want to make it a little bit bigger as well. Awesome. Come down here. Use my polygon, draw my triangle here, flatten out my triangle completely. So it does that, bring it all together, put that there. Go in, move that up a little bit so it's not too tall, not too stubby, but at least it holds a gallon of wine. Put that in there. That, of course, needs to be red. And I'm going to take my eyedropper tool, and I have a really good red right here, and this is my apple red, isn't it? Apple, apple, apple. Beautiful. Right there. There's my red wine. Right there. Grab the word wine right here. Of course, I need a little highlight on the glass because I've been putting it on everything else. So again, draw a circle. Ellipse right here. Draw that. Go ahead, switch it over to the stroke right there. Get rid of the top, get rid of the side, round the corners. The eyedropper tool, get the color. Of course, around the corners again, do everything I just did. And I'm going to change the color here, make it substantially lighter so we get a nice little highlight there. Put it on there, and I got my little highlight for my wine glass. Beautiful. Love it. And then the last thing is cigarettes, which we have done before. Those are easy because that is literally this. Those are definitely brown, no question about it. Well, actually they're white, but we're going to make them brown anyway. And up. Copy this, ungroup it, grab it right here, cigarette, group it, put it together, throw it in there, cigarette.
Nice.
So while we didn't get everything all put together, we sure got an awful lot done in this amount of time.
Yeah,
Clearly, I need to kind of organize this stuff, but I just want to turn on my one last grid here just to kind of show you, because this could become a nice little shape. I definitely formed these to the grid. I got a little bit sloppy there. Let me at least put these things in here. So I've got something like this. We definitely have more room for other little items here as well, and this can be a lot of fun as we go through. Fit that to the grid structure. Gotta reduce that in size a little bit. And overall, folks, I think we did darn good for 2 days of building infographics.
Brilliant, nicely done. Congratulations, that looks really cool. Folks are really liking it out here.
I passed the test. I feel like Sally Fields. Right. They like me, they really...